Welcome, my name is Aletha Powell. This event is sponsored by Liberation Ministries Incorporated. This is a program of emotional healing and restoration, which is a therapeutic and spiritual event. The topic for today is church hurt, toxic church leadership. In this session, we will examine the topic of church hurt with the emphasis on how inappropriate leadership can be noxious to the congregant. We have with us Bishop Keever Wyatt, who will share his account of submitting to injurious church leadership. Welcome, Bishop Wyatt.
Thank you.
Tell us about your devotion to the church of discussion.
My devotion to, as I call it, my growing up church. I came there when I was 14 years old in 1975. And my mom allowed me to go there. The bishop there was starting a new church, and my mom felt like, well, if you're going to stay interested in church, you can go there and be a part of that upstart. So I was there. I was there for 17 years. I married my children's mother there. We raised our children there. We served there. I served in a number of ministries over the years. I don't think we ever missed a service, out of town, in town, Sunday school, night service. I think I missed one service because I was very ill. So we were very dedicated. I was very involved in that church.
Can you give us a synopsis of the negative things you experienced with church leadership?
Yes. Unfortunately, I have experienced some hurtful events because of behaviors and church leadership not knowing how to handle situations. I remember an occasion where my pastor actually attacked me with a butcher knife because he was involved in some domestic abuse. And at the time I was serving as an elder in the church, and it was brought to me from his family actually. And I went there with his daughter and granddaughter to retrieve some things for his wife that she left, and just left everything. She left in her pajamas. And so I was trying to reason with him and see if he would let us get some things just to give to his wife so she wouldn't be inappropriately dressed, and she just needed some things. She needed to get away. I was trying to get him to get some counsel for your situation. We don't want this to get out into the church. But he drove it up even more and threatened me, came after me, charged at me with a butcher knife. And if his daughter hadn't told me that he was behind me, I probably would have been injured because he was coming at me. But I was able to turn and protect myself. That weighed on my soul for a long time. Leadership, pastor does something like that. And that was kind of a culmination of a lot of things that were happening over a number of years. So for people that have experienced hurtful issues with their pastors or other spiritual leaders in the church, I can't understand how that would affect them. Yes.
And how would you describe some of the things that were happening to you?
I would describe them as disappointing. I have, in my experience, been unduly criticized, wrongfully accused by leadership, and it's hurtful, especially when leadership feels like that they are spiritually immune to correction or apologizing when they find out that what they were doing was wrong or what they accused you of was not true. And they just go on like nothing ever happened, not acknowledging, oh, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Or divulging personal information like from counseling, turning it into a whole sermon for people.
What was the impact on you when those things were happening?
It bothered me. I don't think I was ever at a point where I wanted to just leave the church and give up. I stayed there under a lot of circumstances, but there was one circumstance where I said, okay, this is enough. It was the knife incident. That was enough. But if I would encourage people, if you're being hurt at church, don't leave God. You may leave that church, that congregation, but I've never left God. I've served God under some tremendous circumstances, and He's been faithful to me. And He'll be faithful to anyone that put their trust in God.
There are some congregants, both male and female, who encounter manipulative sexual experiences. Succinctly, can you respond?
Sure. I would say, and that's a big topic in the church, in the broad church, Catholic Church, the Methodist Church, many of our other churches, Pentecostal churches, Apostolic churches. I would say if that incident happens ever to a person, they need to find someone that they have confidence in, find leadership, find someone with wisdom that knows how to approach such an incident and get help. I recall, as you say that, there was an incident with one of our teenagers. I think at the time she's like 15 or 16 years old. One of her family members was an interim pastor at a popular church here in town. And she was being molested by him. So she finally spoke up about it. She told someone, and they approached the leadership at the church and explained it in a way where it didn't rush out immediately. But a council of elders and deacons came together to find out the facts. And once they found out the facts of the situation, they let the pastor explain his side. And he was honest about his failure and was able to step back and it not tear up the church. Those kinds of things that tear the church up. Those kind of things that ruin the ministry. They ruin people. Some people want to criticize the church anyway, regardless of what good the church does. With something like that, even as we see in other, like I say, the broad church, we have children being molested, boys being molested, girls being molested by pastors, leaders in the church. But there is a way to handle it that it doesn't destroy the church. Paul, the Apostle Paul said these things should be handled. These things shouldn't be allowed to go on. 1 Corinthians chapter 7. They should be called out. The person should be spiritually disciplined so that the church doesn't have that lump of, he said, leaven. A little leaven spoils the whole lump. And those things do have to be corrected, but people have to come forth and let someone know that that's happening.
Now, after going through that experience, with you being in church leadership now, what is the best way for a congregate to resolve that type of situation?
I would say a congregate should, really churches should have policy in place. That's one thing. Churches that don't have policy in place that talk about sexual advances that are inappropriate with leadership. I don't care if it's the chairman of the ushers, all the way to the chairman of the elders or the pastor or bishop. There should be policy in place, because now law gets involved, especially when it's concerning children, and they will shut you down for real. And so policy should be in place, and it should be the right of anyone in the congregation with a child or adult that sexual advantages, sexual harassment should be in place, that sexual advantages can already have a plan how they will be approached. Biblically based also, but we have to answer to the law too. We got to answer to the government too. So those things should be in place and those things should be followed.
Can you explain the difference between worshiping God and attending church?
That's a good one, yes. Worshiping God and attending church. Anyone can attend church. A lot of people attend church every Sunday. Some of our churches are packed with parishioners who are sitting in our churches and haven't worshiped not a dime. It says worship service on the sign, but we haven't worshiped. We haven't worshiped. I don't mean just clapping our hands. We haven't worshiped because worship is our devotion to God. It doesn't just start when we hit the building. Worship is our lifestyle. Worship is our life's dedication to the Lord. Worship is seen in how we talk, how we behave, how we respond, especially under pressure, under duress, under trial, under testing. Can we carry out what we committed ourselves to God to do? When we do that, we're worshiping. We are cloned in Christ, behaving like Christ. I think Paul said, "Follow me as I follow Christ." If I don't follow Christ, don't follow me. And when we're worshiping, when we come together collectively as a body, as the ecclesia, as the church, the ones that are called out, we collectively worship. We are collectively humbling ourselves. None of us are the object of worship and praise. The pastor's not. He's not. The bishop's not. When they walk in and stand up, we got to stop singing because he's walking. No. That changes the whole atmosphere and devotion of our worship. They're not to be worshiped. In fact, I'm going to get you in trouble. Get me in trouble. They ought to be sitting in their seat ready when the service starts. So everybody is in worship. They are leading the worship. They should be the main ones leading the worship. Not everybody else involved in service. They sit back chilling till they get up and preach. Now they want everybody's energy on them. That's not what God is calling for. Worship is not necessarily a particular place or building. We designate places and buildings that our body can come together and meet. But as Jesus told the woman at the well, God is not worship here on this mountain or that mountain. But the true worshiper worships God in spirit and in truth. That's who God is looking for, seeking to worship Him. It's real worship.
What is your advice to someone who's dealing with church hurt?
It's good. My advice to people that are dealing with church hurt, first of all, they need to understand that they belong to God. You don't belong to that church. You do, but you don't. That church doesn't own you. God is your master. That pastor is not your master. He's just a covering for you. He has a chief shepherd to answer to. And when you're being abused, when you're being misused, there's a remedy that God has given all the believers. He didn't say, if you're a pastor, if you're an elder, if you're an apostle, blah, 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 that you do this and the rest of y'all. No. He said, go to your brother, explain their offensiveness to you. If they don't hear you, take another witness. If they don't hear the witness, take it to the church. I would say, as I said before, all churches should have something in place already to handle those type of situations. That even the pastor can be corrected. Pastors have to allow themselves to be corrected. Bishops have to allow themselves to be corrected. Because the scripture already corrects you anyway. There's certain protocol we all live by, I don't care what you are. But we have gotten away, but we need to, that person needs to be able to approach. And if they refuse, if they are refused, then they need to move on. And I would advise them to find counsel to help do that, to help walk them through that, or someone a leadership in the church they could trust to help them with that process.
Thank you, Bishop Wyatt, for sharing.
Thank you for having me.
We welcome your donations, as this will assist in helping us to continue with our efforts to serve you. Please send your donations by Zelle to email donate_eh@att.net or 463-401-3147. Thank you for tuning in. We encourage you to continue accessing this program as you pursue healing.